Hey, I'm Jake, and this is yoga for weight loss. Come onto your mat. We'll start in child's pose. So knees wide as your mat. Big toes touch. Let your hips sit back and heavy. Okay, relax your forearms on the floor. Relax your forehead on the floor. And take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. Twice more like that. Deep breath in. And a long breath out. And once more. Exhale completely. Relax your jaw. Let your lips softly come to touch. And engage your yoga breath. So deep, full breaths. In and out through your nose. Okay, that's your metronome for your whole practice. With your next in-breath, come forward for tabletop. Okay, hands and knees. Line yourself up with your wrists straight across and under your shoulders. Knees under your hips. And inhale, arch your back, look forward. Exhale, round your spine. Look towards your navel. Twice more like that. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale, round. Okay, once more, deep breath in. Exhale, round. Okay, this inhale, find a neutral spine and pelvis. Tuck your toes under. Step back for a plank. Legs straight, wrists under your shoulders. Okay, this is a good length. Don't move your hands or feet. Lift your hips up and back for down dog. Okay, down dog. Feet at least inner hips width apart. It's about 3 to 4 inches apart. If you feel tighter here, you can step your feet wider to outer hips width apart. Okay, bend both knees about halfway towards the floor. Widen your knees as wide as your feet. Look at your knees. Make sure they're as wide as your feet and press your arms straight. Tip your pelvis up. Create a lift on your low back. And so much as you could keep that lift, you can stretch your legs out as straight as they'll go. Okay, inhale. Come to the balls of your feet. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, then step or walk to the top of your mat. You bring your feet as wide as you need and bend your knees as much as you have to step forward. Feet straight. Inhale, lift halfway up, legs straight. Get as tall as you need to feel clearance in your back. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to touch. Deep breath in, arms overhead, come up to stand. And exhale, arms in at your side. Full breath, reach your arms overhead. And exhale, bow all the way forward. Touch the floor in front of you, make sure your feet are straight. Shift weight into your right foot. Step your left foot way back for lunge. Come onto your fingertips. You bend your front knee deeply, right over your ankle. Back foot's vertical. Straighten your back leg, tilt your gaze forward. Okay, and step it forward. You can do a couple steps or one big step. Second side, weight in the left foot, right foot back for lunge. Okay, left knee right over your ankle, and back foot's straight up and down vertical. Yeah, straight back leg, keep your left heel heavy. And gaze slightly forward of your mat. Okay, you're gonna step back this round for down dog. Inhale, plank. Legs straight for low plank. You lower all the way down to the floor. Point your feet. Bring your arms alongside your body. Turn your palms towards the floor. Come out of your fingertips. Lengthen your back. Shoulders lift. Arms lift. Legs lift. Okay, legs and feet about hips width apart. No bend in the knees. Reach back through your feet. Okay, and look to your right. Turn your chest right. Right shoulder back. And second side, look to the left. Set your left shoulder back. And bring it back to center. Hands flat by your ribs. Tops of feet down. Inhale, cobra. Literally pull your chest towards the front edge of your mat. Bend your elbows enough to set your shoulders back. You roll over the knees, tabletop, and Make sure your wrists are straight across. Flatten your hands. Okay, down dog. Tuck your toes. Hips lift. Every down dog, enough bend in the knees to feel a release in your low back. Okay, inhale, come to the balls of your feet. Exhale, bend your knees, step or walk to the top of your mat. Okay, inhale, halfway up, hands on your hips, set your shoulders back and come up and stand. Okay, feet hips width apart, about 2 fists width apart, feet straight forward. Bend your knees deeply. Rest your right forearm across your thighs. So your right elbow's on your right thigh. Your right hand grabs a hold of your left outer thigh. Okay. Turn your chest to the left. Reach your left arm up. Okay, so watch that. Right knee's going to want to pop forward. Set your right knee back even with your left. Use your right hand against your left outer thigh to pull yourself into the twist. And second side, left forearm across your thighs. Okay, reach your right arm up. Okay, use your left hand against your right outer thigh, thigh against your hand to pull yourself into the twist. Okay, only so far as this opposite knee, the left knee, doesn't swing forward. Keep it back, hips level, hips heavy. Okay, come on, up. Both arms up, straighten your legs. Exhale, arms swing behind your back. Clasp your hands behind you. Clasp right at your sacrum, bend your elbows, step your feet as wide as your mat, feet straight. Okay, if your arm bones slouch forward in their shoulder sockets, grab a strap or a towel to set them back. If you don't have the strap, you can do like I'm doing here, airplane arms or air strap. Okay, shoulders back, bow down the middle, shoulders lift, and bend your knees enough to release your back. Okay, so far as you feel release, you can straighten your legs out. Relax your neck as you fold. Okay, unclasp, touch the floor in front of you. Okay, weights in your right foot, keep this wide stance, left foot back for low lunge. Lower your back knee super gently. You pat up the knee, fold up the mat. If you need to pat up the knee, angle your right foot at a diagonal right. Point your right knee the same direction as your foot. And just give it a few breaths. You can either tuck or point the back foot. Okay, whichever feels better on your back knee. Just keep the right heel heavy. Keep your right knee aligned so far as you can keep that. You can settle in for the lunge. Okay, if that right knee starts to turn in, just stay upright. Okay, come on up. Tuck your back toes under. Okay, and wiggle your right foot towards the center of your mat. Lift your back knee up. Step forward. Switch sides. Left foot forward, right foot way back for low lunge. Okay, lower your back knee gently. Wiggle your left foot to that left edge of your mat. Turn your left foot left. Left knee widens to the left over your foot. And so far as you can keep that alignment, and give it a few breaths. For your hips to open, anchor your left heel to set your left hip back. Okay, and slide your left foot to the right couple inches towards the center of your mat. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee up, step it forward to bow at the top. Lift halfway up, legs straight, hands on your hips. Shoulders back as you stand. Okay, and take a wide stance, face the left edge of your mat. Okay, feet straight, reach your arms out. Make sure your ankles are underneath your wrists. Okay, and then turn your right foot towards the front edge of your mat. Bend your right knee deeply for warrior two. And side angle, right forearm to your right thigh, left arm by your ear. Turn your chest to the left. Hips square to the left. That right knee widening. Okay, come on up. Hands on your hips. Straighten your right leg. Right foot in. Turn your left foot out. Okay, make sure your left foot points straight towards the back edge of your mat. Bend your left knee right over your ankle. Warrior two. And side angle. Left forearm to your left thigh. Right arm by your ear. Hips and chest square towards the wall you're facing. And come on up. Hands on your hips. Turn both feet towards the wide edge of your mat. Bow down the middle. Bend your knees enough to touch. And bend your knees enough to clear your back. And just make sure those feet are straight and even. Okay, lift halfway up. Hands on your hips. You can bend your knees to clear your hip flexors to come up. And stand. Turn to the front. Step to the top of your mat. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, dive forward. Touch the floor. For down dog, step it back. Enough bend in your knees to release your back. And we'll go right knee forward for pigeon. Right knee wide all the way to the right edge of your mat. Hips square. Come on to your forearms for a breath. And let your hips sit back and towards the floor. Okay, you're going to come up onto your hands. Reach your right hand back for your left foot for a quad stretch. Okay, if you can't quite reach the foot, you could use a strap or a towel to lasso the foot. If you still can't quite reach, let it go completely and hold pigeon. Okay, if you're here comfortably for a deeper thigh stretch, you can mount your left forearm. You know pretty much immediately if that's too much. Engage your left foot, flick your left toes against your hand. Okay, gently release, step back. Switch sides, left knee wide for pigeon, left knee all the way to this left edge of your mat. Hips square, come onto your forearms, hips settle back and towards the floor. So you could slide your back leg further back as your hips open, just so far as your hips don't roll to the left. Okay, that'll tend to tighten them rather than open them. This is no good. Okay, come on up. Reach your left hand for your right foot for thigh stretch. Okay, you use a strap or a towel if you can't quite reach. You can also, if you can't quite reach, let it go completely. You don't want to leave it in limbo. It's really easy to have your hamstring cramp. And draw your heel towards your outer hip. Engage your right foot. Tip your hip up towards your heel. Option to come out on the right forearm is a deeper thigh stretch. And gently release. Step back. Down dog. And you're going to step your right foot forward, come up for pyramid pose. So feet hips width apart, short enough stance, both heels are rooted. Fold over your right leg and hands either on your hips to the floor or blocks on either side of your right foot. If you don't have the blocks, you can bend your right knee to touch. Okay, just so far as you're actively stretching the backs of your legs. Okay, hips square, fold over your right leg. Okay, step forward, bow at the top, feet straight, hips width apart. Come up to stand, second side. Weight in the left foot, right foot back for pyramid. Square your hips to the front and bow over your left leg. Hands either stay on the hips, hips square, or hands to either side of your left foot to the floor of the blocks. It's okay to bend your knee if you need to touch. And just make sure your feet are hips width apart. Err on the side of being more spacious rather than being on a tight rope. It'll be very hard to balance. Low hamstrings. Okay, you're going to step forward, bow at the top. Feel the difference in the first one you did. And bend your knees deeply, sit down. Lie on your back. Bend your knees, place your feet for bridge. Ankles underneath your knees, feet hips width apart. Root your feet down and lift your hips up. Lift your low back up. You can either clasp your hands underneath you Arms alongside you, palms spin up, whichever gives you leverage to walk your shoulders underneath you. And lower your hips down gently. Hug your knees in for happy baby. Bend your knees, hold the shins. Either hold it still or rock and roll. And rock it up to sit. And stretch your right leg out straight. Left foot flat to the inside of your right thigh. Okay, left hand behind you on fingertips. Now reach your right arm up and exhale. Either wrap your arm in front of your knee, okay, or across your thigh. Whichever gives you leverage to sit tall in your spine and twist. Okay, get tall to unwind. Left leg out, right knee in. Right solar foot flat to the inside of your left thigh. Right hand behind you on fingertips. Reach up with your left arm. And exhale, either wrap your arm in front of your shin or elbow across your thigh. Keep the left toes pointing up. Sit tall and twist. Look over your right shoulder. Okay, come on back to center. Stretch both legs out wide. Feet point up, knees point up, hands behind you. Tilt your low back up. And as far as you can keep that alignment, you can bow forward. Okay, if you go to come forward, if your knees lift up or your back tucks, stay upright, hands behind you. All right, hope you've enjoyed. I appreciate you being here. If you have any questions, reach out to me, please. My name's Jake. Namaste.